welcome back to our channel and welcome to Joie's University. This video is again part of my lecture series for the subject, The Teacher in the Community, School Culture and Organizational Leadership. Today, I'll be discussing the three social science theories and their implications to education. And these theories or these theoretical paradigms are too important to be studied because they explain how society influences people and vice versa, how people influence society. And each of these theories, uniquely conceptualizes society, social facts, and human behavior. And like I said, I'll be discussing the three social science theories, namely functionalism, conflict theory, and social interactionist theory. So let's move on to the first theory, which is the functionalism or structural functional theory. Functional structural theory sees society as a structure with different but interrelated parts. And these different parts are designed to meet the biological and the social needs of the individuals in that particular society. And another thing that you have to remember is that for functionalists emphasizes the need of these parts, interrelated parts, to work together to attain stability and balance. Herbert Spencer, the main proponent of functionalism, compared society to that of the human body, with different but interrelated parts performing different functions. The body really has different parts. It has different organs and different systems, and these organs have unique functions, right? But these organs must work hand in hand so that the body could perform well, the body could function well. If one of the organs of the body does not do its part, does not perform its function, or fails to do its role, then the entire body will be affected. The same is true with the society. The society has different but interrelated parts with different functions at the same time. When we speak of the different parts that are within the society, we are talking about the family, the church, the state, the media, the government, economics. These are all parts of the society. And these parts of the society have different functions, but they have to work hand in hand for a society to be stable, right? Because if one of these parts, one of these components does not perform well or is problematic, then there will be chaos, there will be turmoil, there will be conflict. An example would be in raising a particular kid. Okay, they say that it takes a village to raise a child. So if a child grows in this particular society, all these components must work hand in hand. The home or the parent should make sure that this child is being taught manners, values, or morals. And this should be strengthened by the teachers in the school and must be supported by the individuals in the society. If all these components would work hand in hand for this particular kid, eventually the child will become an asset to the society. But if something happens, the home does not perform its job, the teacher fails to do its job, the school does not perform its job at the same time, then eventually this kid will become a problem in the school in particular and in society in general. So that's how important the roles or the harmonious relationship of all these components in the development of each of the members in a certain society. And this functionalism focuses on how education serves the needs of the society through the development of the skills that would encourage social order and unity. In other words, education or schools must make sure that they develop the skills among the learners so that these skills will be encouraged later on to promote social stability and unity. And functionalism does not encourage people to seek for change. It does not encourage individuals to take an active role in changing the society. It does not ask everyone to change the society or to change what is happening in the society. Functionalism only asks individuals in the society to contribute something to attain social stability. Okay? Therefore, education for functionalists will be there to prepare students for participation in the institutions of the society. Education should help the learners or individuals find their own role, the role that they can perform in their own society later on. And at the same time, education should transmit the core values for social control. The education must be there to help everyone in the society to adopt skills, to adopt values, and to adopt behavior that would contribute to social control later on. And at the same time, education should bring together people from different backgrounds. And education should make sure that even if these people come from different background, have different economic status, and have different ethnicity, then education must be there to make sure that no matter how different these people are, they should be united in the sense, they should be united so that they may be able to come up with stability and balance in their own society. So according to functionalists, at the same time, there are 4 purposes of a certain school. The first one, the school has an intellectual purpose. So meaning the learner acquires cognitive skills and inquiry skills in the school. The learner acquires the basic knowledge and skills in that particular school necessary for him to survive in that particular society. Everything that makes this child be informed, intellectually equipped, knowledgeable about not only about the subject matters or subject areas but about life, all those things must be done or must be given by the school. The second one is the political purpose of the school. The school, it's where students are educated to be good citizens of the country. They're educated to promote patriotism and nationalism, and they are taught how to conform with the laws and the importance of conforming to laws. So those are the things that are being taught in the school to serve its political purpose. The third one, the school also has the economic purpose. It's where, according to the functionalists, the students are prepared for their future work roles in the society. Okay, it is in the school where the kid decides what would be his or her job in the society later on, and it is in the school where the child or where a person is selected and trained as part of a particular labor force in a certain society. That is why ang mga bata, di ba, especially when they are in the basic education, it's where they form their dreams, and it's where they decide what to do later on in their lives. And the last one is the social purpose. The school also has to make sure that it promotes sense of social and moral responsibility among the learners. The learners should be taught the importance of the family, the importance of parents, how to be good daughters, how to be good children, and how to be very good follower of their own gods, because it's where they would be a part of a certain church or of a certain sex or of a certain organization that has something to do with their faith. So all these purposes, all these are actually taught because according to the functionalists, these are the principles of a democratic life. Okay? So, therefore, functionalism actually aims for stability or state of equilibrium in a certain society. And the functionalism also believes that there is no need for change so long as everything is working harmoniously well. There is no need for change so long as people are living happily in that particular society. And for functionalists, change should only be necessary when things are unstable. So if things are stable, everyone does his or her job, all components of the society perform their job very well, then there is no need for change. Okay, that's according to functionalists. So in the school, or if you become a teacher, if you are a functionalist, then you would believe that so long as there is order in your classroom, so long as everyone understands whatever it is that you are discussing in the classroom, and they understand each other, they know the roles that they have to do and the rules that they have to follow, then the teacher does not have to think of a change in the classroom or in the school for that matter. Alright? The second one is the conflict theory. Conflict theory, on the other hand, is I think the opposite of the functionalism, because conflict theory believes that there would always be two opposing sides. There are always two sides of the coin. There are always two sides of a certain story. And so long as there are people who would want to change their status quo, then conflict will always be there. Now, conflict theorists welcome conflict as a way of establishing a new society, which is really right. If you would want to create a new society, then you must be open for change. If you would want to come up with a better society, or maybe a better version of yourself, then you welcome conflict. You welcome change. Alright? And conflict theories find potential conflicts between any of the groups where inequalities would exist, like the race would always racial discrimination, gender inequality, religious beliefs, political agenda, political beliefs, and economic perspectives. So long as there are inequalities in there, then there will be conflict. So long as there is a division between the rich and the poor, the bright and the dumb, the whites and the black, then conflict will always be there. That's according to conflict theories. Now, what's the implication of these to education? Conflict theories believe that functionalism is a powerful means of maintaining a powerful structure and creating a docile workforce for capitalism. Conflict theories believe that the purpose of education really is to maintain social inequality, right? Social inequality, because there would always be a school for the rich, a school for the poor. If you are a rich member of the society, you will be given chance to be educated this way. But if you are a poor member of a society, then you do not have any choice but to accept an education of this kind of education. So there would always be social inequality. And according to the conflict theories at the same time, education is there to preserve the power of those who dominate the society. So the rich will be taught how to become richer. The powerful will be taught how to maintain their power. Those who are in the possession will be taught how to take good care of their own possession, and at the same time how to dominate the society kahit kailan nila gusto. Yun daw ang purpose ng education. The conflict theories would actually call this as hidden curriculum. Hidden because it's not actually presented in the curriculum, but in reality, education really is there because it intentionally but indirectly socializes young people to be obedient, to conform with the law, and to tell them that these are the roles that they can play. These are the only roles that they can play in the society. Okay? That is why, like what I said, the purpose is to maintain social inequality and to teach those in the working class to accept their position as lower class worker of a certain society. Because in the school, we are taught that if you would want to be a teacher, then you are taught to be a teacher. But those who are the rich ones are taught the other way around. Because in reality, the education that we receive in the Philippines is not universal. The education that we received actually based on our economic status, based on our intellectual capacity, based on our background. It's never universal. If you think that you are not capable of coming up with this particular course, then you just have to take this course or this certificate, and instead of working a white collar job, because your certificate is only like this, then you are designed to be in the blue collar job. So that's how inequality would exist because of education. And for conflict theories, conflicts pave the way to change and to the establishment of the new society. And that's actually correct. But before we could ask change to our society, before we could ask people to do like this and to do like that, then we have to make sure that we are also capable of doing such. We have to be the change that we want to see. We have to be the light that we want to see. Okay? And the last one is what you call the symbolic interactionist theory. And this symbolic interactionist theory was promulgated by George Herbert in the 1920s. This symbolic interactionist theory analyzes society by addressing the subjective meanings that people impose on objects, events, and behavior. So there is a need to analyze and to address the subjective meanings that people put into something. Because in reality, people would give different meanings to one thing. People would interpret an action differently. People would give relative meanings to one thing. And for symbolic interactionist theory, there is a need to address these differences and to address these subjective meanings that we put to objects, to events, and to behavior. Okay? And according to this theory at the same time, people attach meanings to symbol, and the meanings that you attach to symbols are actually their symbolic interpretation of these symbols. Like for instance, in verbal conversation, sometimes the words that we speak are actually symbols, and the words that we speak are open to subjective interpretation. Alright? Because interpretations really are relative. Our interpretation to a certain thing might be different from my husband's interpretation over the same thing. Rather, it's very relative. It's different. It's like saying beauty is in the eye of the beholder, right? So because interpretations are relative, your interpretation would depend on your experience, maybe would depend on your subjective meaning, maybe. And there are actually 3 tenets of the social interactionist theory. The first of which, an individual action depends on meaning. So your action would really be dependent on the meaning, or would really be dependent on how you understand the symbol given to you. Because we act based on our own understandings of the symbol that is provided us. So like if a teacher feels that, if the student feels rather that a teacher believes in him or in her, then he would prove the teacher right. He would make all possible ways to prove that the teacher is just right to believe in this particular person, or this particular person. But if a person is wrongly judged, right, then his action would also be in accordance to the such judgment. Okay, to such judgment. Because our action depends on the meaning. Our action depends on how we understood something. And the second one, different people may give different meanings to the same thing. Like we are talking about the same person and we are already describing the same person differently. What makes our interpretations different? Maybe our interaction with that particular person. So like kapag ang teacher din ay napaka-strict, that could be interpreted in 2 ways. Una, ma-appreciate ng mga estudyante na strict ang teacher, kasi pag strict ang teacher, mas marami silang natututunan. Or yung iba naman, ayaw nila yung strict na teacher kasi feeling nila ang strict na teacher ay paepal lang, kunya-kunyari lang, ang hirap i-please, natatakot sila, ayaw nilang mag-aral. So, we are actually having the same, thing, but we are giving our different interpretations about that. because that is why whatever you do, you would always receive two opposing reactions from the people around you. So, kaya nga wag na kayong magtaka kapag ikaw, rather, ay mabait naman sa iba, pero masama ka naman sa iba. Life is really like that. You can never please everyone, okay? You're only showing them a particular face, but people already judge you differently. And their judgment of you would be based on their schema about you, or maybe based on their experience with you or interaction with you. And the last one, meaning change as individuals interact with one another. That's how important interaction is, alright? That's how important communication is. That's how important being open to communication, hearing others' listening to others' ideas, being free to express your own thoughts, and being understood. It's really very important that if you have different interpretations over a thing, you talked about it, you present your own ideas about it, and you come up with the same interpretation with the same meaning. And it's also very important that before you judge other people, you also have to interact with these people first before coming up with your own judgment. Because meaning change as individuals interact with one another. And that's the core of the symbolic interactionist theory. That it's really very important that you interact with one another so that you may be able to understand a certain symbol. Okay? So what's the implication of this one to education? According to this theory, you have to continue to teach for meaning. You teach for meaning, alright? You teach why they have to learn this. Teach the reason behind studying this one. Give them room or opportunities to explain things themselves, to interpret things themselves, and to study things for themselves, because that's really the purpose of teaching. And the second one, it's really so important that you have to use nothing but positive gestures or positive symbols. Nothing but positive symbols. Positive so that it will not be open for interpretations. Positive so that people would interpret it positively and would not come up with a negative reaction over what is shown them, what is given them, and the like. So your gestures, your appearance, your words, and your actions should jive each other, should be connected with each other, so that you may be able to give the message that you really would want to give, and that message will never be misinterpreted, and miscommunication was not actually arise. Alright, that is why there is a need to ensure mutual understanding, and for everyone to do that, the sender and the receiver must give the same meaning of the symbol. Because if they would not give the same meaning of the symbol provided them, then miscommunication will come in, faulty communication will arise, communication gap will be a problem. Alright? So those are the 3 social science theories that I would like you to study and to remember, and then you visit your CLMS account for the activities after this. Goodbye! See you next time!